Hello everyone, welcome back to Nana's Career Steps. If this is your first time, welcome. It is lovely to have you here. My name is Nana. I am the founder and creator of Nana's Career Steps. I created this channel just to be able to discuss my career journey as it relates to being a candidate as well as a recruiter. So if you're interested in learning more about how to pivot into a new career, or if you're just on a job hunt, I would like you to hit that subscribe button just to be able to stay tuned with my videos. And I would also like you to hit that like and bell button for the bell button just to get notified whenever I post. So yeah, let's just get right into it and not waste any more time. So today I am going to be discussing resume tips. I am going to be giving you 5 do's and 5 don'ts. So without further ado, I'm just going to get right into it. So the very first thing that you want to do with do's is tailoring your resume. And so when it comes to tailoring your resume, you want to make sure that with whatever job you're applying to, you are aligning your experience closely with that job description. That does not mean you're copying what is in the job description. It just means that you're looking at specific keywords that are being highlighted in the minimum qualifications or requirements that are in the role, and also looking at the preferred requirements as well, so that if you have anything that's in there, you're able to stand out from any other candidates who are applying. The second thing that you want to do here is just making sure that you are using action verbs as well as quantifying your achievements. So action verbs could be implemented, leveraged, created, managed, or led. Those are some action verbs here that you can use just to make sure you're making an impact. And whenever the hiring manager sees your resume, it just kind of shows that like you know what you're talking about. When it comes to quantifying your achievements in the same point, is making sure that you're able to use numbers or data to be able to show impact with regards to your working experience. So I'm going to give you an example here. So it could be that you led a $2 million project and cut costs at 20% by delivering it successfully. So just making sure that you're able to use those numbers there to just show the impact you made in that previous experience. The next point here is making sure that you're brief and concise with your resume. So making sure that you are keeping your resume to 1 to 2 pages max, just because on an average, recruiters don't spend more than 6 to 7 seconds when they're reviewing a resume. The fourth point here that you want to take note of as well is highlighting your education, any licensures, certifications, or tools and technologies that you have used as well. Just making sure that if you acquired an education, just making sure that you're highlighting that as well. So whether it being a bachelor's, whether it being an associate's, whether it being a master's degree, making sure that you're including that in your resume as well. When it comes to certifications, making sure that if the job requires that or states that you need that, you're including that in that resume, as well as any licensures or any tools and technologies that you have used in your previous work experience. Last and final point when it comes to do's is just making sure that you proofread your resume before submitting an application. I know that this sounds self-explanatory, but trust me, there are a lot of people when they're looking for jobs, it's so easy to just forget to review your resume before sending in that application. So you want to make sure that you are reviewing your resume just to make sure there are no errors, and just so that whenever the hiring manager is looking at it, they know that, okay, this is a serious person. Especially if the role requires you to be organized, you just want to make sure that you are very diligent and meticulous when it comes to looking at your resume before submitting an application. So that's it when it comes to do. So now we're going to move on to do nots. Just a disclaimer here, if I keep looking down, it's just because I am looking at my notes just to make sure that I am including every point in this video. So when it comes to do nots, I apologize. You do not want to list your responsibilities or your duties that you have done in the past, just because anyone can do that from your previous role. Imagine if you were applying to a role and your coworker was doing the same thing. Like, how would you be able to stand out in the application process? So you want to make sure, as I mentioned before, that you're quantifying your achievements just so you're able to stand out. The second thing that you do not want to do is lie or exaggerate in your resume, just because obviously it's not good to lie. And the second thing is just when you do that, even if you do get that interview or screening call scheduled, they're going to ask you about your work experience. And if they ask you about that specific thing and you don't have experience in it, you're obviously not going to be able to get that job. So don't lie or exaggerate in your resume. third point here, sorry for looking down, just want to make sure I am covering all my points here. Do not talk in third person or first person. It just doesn't look professional. I know that this also could be self-explanatory as well, but trust me, I have seen as a recruiter a lot of people that have said she or I have done this, I have done that, or she is this type of person, she is a hardworking person. And in your resume, as I mentioned before, you want to make sure you're brief and concise, and it just really doesn't look professional. So just don't do that. The fourth point here is you don't want to include your picture or address in your resume. It's really not necessary to do that, just because, as I mentioned before, you want to make sure that you're keeping your resume to 1 to 2 pages max, and that could just take up unnecessary space. And the final point when it comes to do nots is do not neglect consistency in your resume. Could just be with formatting. This could just be with fonts that you would use. So any bullets that you use, you want to make sure that it's consistent in your resume. You also want to make sure that if you are bolding anything, so for instance, your work experience or bolding any dates in your resume, you want to make sure that that's consistent as well. So yeah, those are all my points for this video. If you really enjoy this, please do hit that like button, and I will see you in my next one. Thank you for watching.